Thank you so much for downloading today's episode of the Red Pill Investor. My name's John Ashley, a pseudonym of a realtor here in the great state of Arizona, here to help you with your real estate sales skills. Why? Well, it's just sort of my way to pay it forward for all the people who've given me the tips, the tricks, the things to say to get the contract signed when I needed it the most. Their only request of me, well, simply pay it forward. Thank you so much for downloading today's episode of the Red Pill Investor. And in today's episode number 457, what I thought I would do with you today is I would give you a quick, how to find motivated buyers and sellers. A sneak peek, on how I find motivated buyers and sellers. A lot of people many times have problems with that, and I'm wondering, do you have that kind of problem? Do you have problems locating motivated buyers and sellers? In 19 years of real estate sales and investing, I've discovered a few things. And one thing I've learned after selling 75 homes a year with only one assistant was that you have to be efficient. Now, today, I thought I would share with you a few ideas about how I find motivated buyers and sellers. A little behind the scenes, if you will, right? After all, being a licensed broker, a podcaster, a practicing investor and coach doesn't leave a lot of time. Am I right? And so today, I thought I'd share with you a few tips on how I still manage to juggle family, the podcast, investing, and still generate leads on a regular, consistent basis. See, a big source of my business comes from online sources. Now, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but according to Investor Carrot, they generated 13,298 leads in 30 days. Through their websites. I don't know how many my leads were, but mine had to be a good part of that number, I'll tell you. So what I'm going to do with you today is I'm going to share with you a little bit behind the scenes of how I find motivated buyers and sellers. So point number one, write down finding motivated buyers. Finding motivated buyers. It's always fascinating to me that there's always a struggle for people to find a motivated buyer. To me, it just seems like they're everywhere. I know that with my Investor Carrot website at smokinghousedeal.com, it provides more than enough ready to act buyers. But, just like your seller leads, you got to remember, not all buyer leads are created equal. They're not all the same. See, by using the blog feature that I have on my website, what I do is I educate the customer. So you talk about things like a self-directed Roth IRA for private lenders. You talk about HUD homes for people who are perhaps rehabbers. We have a lot of real estate investment resources in my area. So, I collate a little group for them there. And each blog post, when you think about it, acts as a virtual line in the water, so to speak. And your lead pages within your Investor Carrot website itself act as virtual bandit signs or maybe virtual yellow letters. See, what really ends up happening, instead of going out and finding a generalized buyer and asking them, oh gosh, what do you want? I can create pages that are specific to a buyer, like handyman or for a private lender, people who are interested in that type of product only. Now, unlike mail or signs or Google AdWords or anything like that, these buyers are qualified according to their interest and their motivation. Now, my second source of finding, motivated buyers is from the multiple listing service. I certainly go out and I offer, a cooperative commission to agents who've represented cash buyers in that area to bring their buyers buy my property. So if they had somebody who bought something 6 months ago in that area, I'll look it up on MLS and I'll call that agent up and I'll say, hey, if you've got that cash buyer, he's interested. I've got something over on 123 Main Street. If you bring him by, I'll pay you a commission. You can add your commission on top or whatever it is they'd like to do. My third source, and probably my most trusted, like I mentioned, not all buyers are created equal. So my inner circle, the ones that I trust the most, the ones that I go to first, my third source and most trusted source are fellow agents. That's the truth. Fellow realtors. Why? Because I can trust them. I know that they're bound to a code of ethics. See, as realtors, they're bound to a code of ethics. If they're not realtors, they're not even on my top 3. They have to be realtors, right? They're bound to that code of ethics. And many times they're repeat buyers themselves. My inner circle of buyers, the best of the best, are repeat clients from me, and they're realtors. Point number 2. Where I find motivated sellers. Now, shockingly, I've not run an ad in years, nor posted a bandit sign, nor spent a penny on mailings. Yet, I consistently generate motivated leads like the ones you hear on the podcast all the time. I get that sort of stuff all the time. Now, how do I do it? Well, it's pretty simple and it's pretty inexpensive. That's the good news. See, first, you have to understand that agents refer their customers to me. So that's the first thing I get. I get a lot of referral business. My center of influence is pretty strong because I've been in the business for a very long time. So I know about pocket listings and off MLS deals and other opportunities that are available in the market. Now, my second way of getting business, obviously, is my website influence through my seller site at carlbuyshouses.com. That website, I've got to tell you, is incredible. It's also through Investor Carrot, but even though that's a powerful platform, that's not really why it's so sexy. See, the thing that makes it very, very sexy is the ability to take prospects and educate them and then convert them into actual leads. Now, when I'm saying leads, I'm saying people who will sign a contract in 7 days. It will do that for you automatically. That's sexy. The third way is I get motivated sellers through the multiple listing service. I use the perpetual lead system to look for mistakes and motivation on the multiple listings service. And that system automatically searches for me using the searches that the multiple listing service already has. The fourth way that I get motivated sellers is through content marketing. Now, unlike a bandit sign, which can be defaced or cut apart or torn down or whatever, a blog post is up forever and it's legal. You can do that at any time. You don't have to go out at 2 in the morning and hide or anything like that or pay people to do it. If it's created well, it can target the specific audience that you want. For example, the only reason why you're listening at this point is to find out a tip how you can sell more real estate. Am I right? It's not like you really care about me one way or the other. You're just trying to figure out a tip that might help you. By the way, check out a new resource that I have for you called the Top 10 Motivated Buyer and Seller Podcasts Lists. It's a PDF. It's free. It's in the podcast. Just go ahead and click that link there for a free copy of the Top 10 Most Motivated Buyer and Seller Podcasts. And what that is give you some ideas on help you find even more buyers and sellers. Point number 3, use the sales environment to your advantage. How I find motivated buyers and sellers. Point number 3, use the sales environment to your advantage. Listen, if you're an investor or a realtor, chances are you don't have a lot of time. Therefore, you want to structure the sales environment according to your advantage. See, here's what I mean. What I mean is, although we would all agree that active prospecting is obviously the best way to find now business. You can't always be on the phone and you can't always do it all day. But a blog post and a lead page can. Therefore, to put it all together, to kind of create this best sales advantage for yourself, we have to share the content that we create in a meaningful way. So, for example, titles that I've used to spread my message, things like We Buy Houses, Tucson Companies Review. So when somebody types in Google, We Buy Houses, Tucson Companies, We Buy Houses, Tucson, it's going to show up. How about how to sell my home and buy another? Right? What to do when your home expires. Selling a home in a divorce. How to sell a house you inherited in Tucson. Cash for homes. Will I get a fair price? I mean, and there's just endless possibilities of what you could write. Those are just a few of the things I've done. To put it shortly, aside from what I pay as an agent and for Investor Carrot, I really need no other lead source. I've got access to all the deals I'd ever want to do. My mentor Mike Ferry taught me, if you generate, you'll never have to tolerate. So I just took it one step further. I took out the middleman myself. I became the principal. So I just took out the middleman myself. See, as I close today, let me just encourage you to go ahead and download that free upgrade, the top 10 motivational buyer and seller episodes, to give you the edge that you need to find even more buyers and sellers. Understand this, the internet has disrupted everything. The most valuable real estate isn't a sign on their corner anymore. It's being found on their laptop, on their smartphone, and on their iPad. See, the easiest, fastest, and most efficient way that I've found is through content marketing. Download your free PDF today and tell me what you think. Have a powerful sales day.